Facebook, 9:11 a.m. Monday morning. Some of you are still on Sunday. I wanted to come on and do a short live and plant some seeds at this incredibly exciting time that we're going through right now, where you can see people are waking up everywhere. People are starting to stand up, and it's a beautiful thing because it's happening peacefully. And this has been prophesied for a long, long time, but it's happening right now. And so my joy is playing in the field of conscious awareness, sharing that with people. I take 4 people through a one-on-one journey every month, but I also have the book, Waking Up in the Dream, and the digital online course with the trainings. But the fascinating part about it is, and why this has become, hey, Kara, hey, Gail, this has become a big part of my life, is because really conscious awareness is the only game in town. It really is. We are creating our reality and pulling in our timelines. When I talk about timelines, I'm talking about events, people, places, whatever shows up in our reality. We are manifesting our reality. And the truth of it is that I believe, so don't believe me, as my teacher said, don't believe yourself, but question everything. This whole thing is an illusion. The whole thing is an illusion. And it appears to be so real that it's the most fascinating game, probably one of them anywhere in the universe. Because we came down here and we agreed to forget that we were unlimited divine beings that already understood everything. And we came down here to shift the consciousness of certainly this planet, and maybe even beyond. I don't know. I don't know if there is a beyond. I know nothing. But there's one thing that I do know and understand about navigating through whatever we call this life, the quantum field, the matrix, the dream, is it's all controlled by our attention, our frequency, and our vibration. All of it. And again, you don't have to believe me, whatever works for you. But when I met my main mentor, Don Miguel Ruiz, in 2001, he told me a couple things that got my mind to really question everything. And the first thing he said was, "You're dreaming all the time." I was like, "What?" I believe that I'm dreaming when I'm sleeping, but we're dreaming right now? And that was a really good opening portal right there to look at, because people want to play it safe. The ego was originally set up to protect us, keep us safe, keep us from walking into fire or getting eaten by a bear or whatever. But now that that's not so much our reality, what it's done is, for the most part, it's taken on a belief system of information that, if you really look at this, and this was the biggest opening for me on my entire journey, was to see and realize that my belief system was not even mine. It wasn't even my own. None of my beliefs were mine. Where did they come from? They all came from outside myself. They all came from my parents, my grandparents. I got tossed into Catholic school, private Catholic school, in the 2nd grade, where every day was judgment day. Every day was fear, with a little bit of love thrown in the background. And so took on these beliefs from maybe the television, cartoons, coloring books, whatever we would see, other people reacting, other people having fun. But the belief system, in most cases in the beginning, tricks us into believing that this is who we are and this is how it is. And we can get trapped in what I call the 3D repeating timelines of the 3D matrix through believing that our belief system is how it is, and then having the need to defend it because we don't know who we are if we don't have a belief system that feels safe. That gives me goosebumps right there. And the only way, well, I'm not going to say the only way, I know nothing, but one of the ways to navigate beyond these repeating, what I would call lower vibrational timelines in the 3D matrix. You look around right now, the people in control, which are being removed, which is great. We came here for this. It's happening. They got control and power through deceiving, manipulation, and keeping everybody in fear. And so now you see people are waking up. They're waking up everywhere. The new children that are coming into the planet are switched on. They know things and can comprehend things that even somebody that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 decades young doesn't process. And so it's happening right now. And what an incredible time to be here. Hey, Paul. Hey, Sator. Hey, Elaine. Hey, Davia. Yeah, so what I love to share is planting seeds, even if you've heard it a million times, because I had to hear Miguel say things many, many times. And what would happen is I would listen to him speak. And this was back in 2001 in San Diego, where I was living at the time. And we got a trigger person on here. Hey, Victor. Everybody send Victor love and light, and he can be on his way. So I used to listen to him tell his stories and talk about that we're dreaming all the time. And so the information would go into my mind and my ego would go, yeah, this sounds really good. But my belief system was still blocking me, and it was still keeping me revolving in the same timelines, and also being what I call in the book an automatic reactor, as opposed to being a conscious observer where you basically, this is just an invitation, agree that you really know nothing. I mean, out of all my beliefs that I went through when I dismantled my belief system, I kept love is the answer, because to me, that's the highest frequency. You can feel that in your body. You can feel it when you look into somebody else's eyes. You can feel it when you smile at somebody. I kept that one, and I kept the other one, that I am a sovereign divine being and I am unlimited. At the time that I chose that belief, I didn't know that I was unlimited. I couldn't prove it, but I had seen enough to feel that my higher self believed in that. And some of the higher texts that I'd read through my years of investigation seemed to reflect that and mirror that. So anything else that I had taken on as a belief, I began to see and observe that everybody that had a belief system, the way they would get triggered and go into judgment, which is the biggest addiction on the planet. It's clearly the biggest addiction, and people justify it more than anything else. And all it does is it attracts more of what you judge into your reality, because we're magnetic beings. And this is really, really key to understand. And for all of you already know this, okay? As I tell everybody when I do my lives, I'm just talking to myself to remind myself. And for anybody that might be looking for a little bit of upliftment and going, man, it really seems challenging out there. It seems like the world is collapsing. Everybody's walking around with a face diaper in fear, even though they know it's a lie. They're afraid to take it off because they don't want to be shamed. And it's just easier to go along with the crowd and submit. You know, that's what we're seeing. But it's great, because this is what it took to get everybody to look around and go, can anybody else see that this is complete bullshit? Can anybody else see this? And if this triggers anybody that wants to claim that, they had the or whatever, then I bless you. I'm not here to upset anybody. I'm here to invite people to expand their conscious awareness and to play with it. Get playful. You don't have to know everything, and we don't need to label everything out there. But the key is to get to a place where you wake up every single morning with a smile and you begin to love on your body that's been loving you in every moment since you've been in the womb. And you go, I get to create my reality today. If it is true that I am a magnetic being, and every thought and every word, and then the emotional frequency that I put behind that is attracting timelines, people, events, abundance, or lack of, maybe repelling, because, like me, I grew up with the belief that money was hard. It's all difficult. And that's certainly what the people in power want to mirror to everybody 24/7, that there's not enough. And so our invitation moving forward is we get to choose. Are we going to stay in the repeating 3D lower vibrational timelines, which is cool. If that's your choice, then that's your choice. Everybody gets to choose what they're going to do. Or did we truly come here to awaken and create one of the greatest shifts in recorded history in raising conscious awareness, healing our inner self from the traumas that we went through and that we agreed to go through? Key word right there. Agreed on our soul contract. And the key to most healing, if not all healing, is forgiveness of anyone that we believe ever did anything to us, especially ourselves. And then when you can get to the point of thanking those people that you're still holding judgment and resistance, oh, they did this to me, my father abused me, whatever. Okay, yeah, I've had it happen. But until we clear those frequencies and we go, oh, that was part of my agreed upon soul contract to go through so I could transmute that for the entire collective. Now, when we go in and do this healing and we realize that we are creating our reality in every moment with our thoughts and our words and the emotional frequency or vibration that we put behind that, the game becomes pretty easy. All it requires, the main invitation is, where is my frequency right now? What am I focused on right now? And we can go up and down in between 3D, 5D. We can get distracted, get pulled in. We can have a fear. We can have a judgment. But the key is to train ourselves to feel our moment-to-moment frequency inside. And if we have a judgment or we have a trigger, the number one thing that I share and guide people through is tracking frequency, dismantling the belief system, getting out of automatic reactor mode. Automatic reactor mode means one thing. You definitely guaranteed have to relive that again and again and again because you magnetize it towards you. Everything you judge, everything you point out. It's not to say that if we observe and point out something that's wrong in the external, that we're going to see more of it. It's the frequency with which we either observe what we're pointing out, because we're here to shift the planet. So yeah, we got to point out the people that are doing things wrong or abusing the children or, all that stuff that many of us are aware of. And yet it's the difference between observing or being triggered. The difference between observing and holding your frequency. And one of my favorite mantras, power mantras, is because I used to be a judgeaholic. I wrote a whole chapter on judgment in the book and how to dismantle it, because that's the key. Judgment is the biggest addiction on the planet. And I was taught to be a judgeaholic in Catholic school. Every day was Judgment Day. Every day. The nuns were pissed off. There was really something wrong. And even in the second grade, I didn't know the first thing about conscious awareness or waking up or anything. And something within me, my built-in innate intelligence, which we all have, was telling me something's really wrong with the energy here. Okay? So it becomes really, really simple. Where is my frequency right now? And one of my favorite mantras is when I go out into the reality, when I walk out my door here at the retreat center where I'm currently at in Thailand, and I see the majority of people here wearing masks, and I see them putting them on their children, which is really, that's tough on my heart a little bit. But I just observe. And I'm like, okay, as I step out into the field, what am I going to bring to the collective? How am I going to magnetize my body as I navigate through whatever it is? Half the time I'm out in nature and it's nothing but 100% love and magic and flowers and dragonflies and running streams and water buffalo and wild jungle dogs and just amazement. And it's so easy to look up at the endless clouds out here over the fields and just go, oh my God, I'm already living in heaven. I'm already living in heaven. But when we get around certain situations like other people or in cities or around people that have been watching a lot of the television or the propaganda, then it becomes, we can feel that in our field a little bit more. We can feel the energy of the other people. We can sometimes feel the fear and the judgment. I mean, I see the fear every day. I mean, you know, all these people wearing masks, and I'm living out in the country. I'm living in heaven. I mean, if you're riding out in the country on a motorcycle or in a car with your windows rolled up and you're wearing a mask, there's something inside of you that's been implanted that tells you to be afraid. And for some reason, you agreed to it. That's it. I'm not judging. It's just the process. Why do we do what we do? Okay. Well, when we begin to question everything and we have the courage, and this is what it is. This is really key here. Let me grab my note. Yeah. If you really want to move beyond the 3D matrix, here's the number one key. Must have the willingness and the courage to completely question your entire belief system. Where it came from, which is pretty easy. It came from your parents, your grandparents, whoever you grew up around, the school system, the television, and the influences that you saw when you were growing up. And it can continue today. That's why they keep feeding all the low vibrational stuff into the field. And it's really great. And the reason I say it's great is because I see what's happening. And what's happening is the evolution of why we came here. And yeah, it sucks in a lot of ways. But let's look at the bigger picture. Thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years, lifetime after lifetime of being enslaved, burned at the stake, who knows what? Having to pay for things that should be free, being duped, false information from every department, from medical to history to science to you name it, okay? Well, here we are. And so our number one invitation is to hold our frequency for the collective right now, because one person that's just sitting there as the observer going, I may not like this, but isn't it interesting? And am I open to knowing deep within that this is why we came here? And then that's it. And then from there, it's just riding the wave. Yeah, we might go up, we might go down, we might have a bad moment. There are no bad days. When people say they're having a bad day, what that normally means is they had one trigger that they didn't catch, that they didn't like, and the emotional frequency from that, they just kept running that story through their head all day long. I used to do it all the time. I didn't know any better. I was feeding off of the emotion instead of observing and going, I don't really like this frequency. But the ego, the untrained ego, feeds off of it because that's what it's been taught. So when we begin to challenge our belief system and we begin to commit to catching every trigger, every judgment, every low frequency thought, and then we ask ourselves, what is this trying to teach me? If you don't catch it and take a breath and go, okay, there's a trigger. This is about me. See, the illusion of the 3D hologram is so many people are going, the problem's out there. It's you, it's them, it's my ex-boyfriend, it's all the guys I attract, it's the government, it's da-da-da-da. And that is part of the collective, but the way out of that is to observe and go, what is this trying to teach me about me? Because an automatic reactor, remember, and an automatic reactor is somebody that automatically judges, automatically gets triggered, automatically goes into fear, any low vibrational frequency that's not love. Every time we do that, we're going to have to relearn it because our soul will give us another chance if it takes 1 time, 1,000 times, or 100 lifetimes to evolve beyond it. And since there is no such thing as time, it's just part of the process. It's part of the game. So the fast track, if I would call it that, is just becoming really consciously aware. Where is my frequency right now? And am I willing to challenge my entire belief system? Do I have the courage to admit that almost every single thing I was taught in the 3D matrix has been a lie or an inverted distortion to keep me recycling in the lower vibrational 3D matrix? And when you see that that's the case, first you're shocked and you're like, and maybe you're pissed. You're like, this is pretty fucked. People actually feed off of other people, literally. They actually feed off of, and many of you know, and that's why they're going after the children. Okay? So what's the takeaway? What's the main seed? Where is my frequency right now? Where is my frequency right now? Where is my frequency right now? Because that's what you're magnetizing more of into your hologram, your life, your reality, whatever you want to call it. It's pretty simple when you break it down. It just requires the awareness to know what a trigger is and the responsibility and the commitment to be 100% responsible for what you're reacting to. It's called healing. Or you could call it clearing if you don't like the word healing. Some people don't like to admit that they need to heal. We're all healing. We're healing the planet. And it's a beautiful thing. And it's probably the highest responsibility and greatest gift that we could ever give to ourselves or the collective beyond. And one person just holding the frequency of kindness, compassion, love, joy, playfulness, and excitement, my favorite frequency, one of the highest ones, that's raising the whole frequency of the planet. Even if there's 1 million other people out there right now that are angry, they're lost, they're judging, they're freaking out, it offsets it because it's a higher frequency. So this is the good news, really, really good news. So anyway, this is a Q&A. So if anybody has any questions, you're welcome to pop it in and I'll see if I can get to it. I think I've said most of what I wanted to convey. I just wake up, in the morning here in Thailand and, I do my best to do a couple lives every week. And, it feels good to share and connect. And a lot of people reach out and send me messages and they're like, thank you so much. And I'm just talking to myself. I had some great teachers. In fact, when you begin to realize that every single person that you see is your teacher, especially the ones that you may judge or trigger you, then you're really, really beginning to awaken. And I know that sounds like stupid, like, who am I? I'm the judge of who's beginning to awaken. No, I'm just sharing from the heart what I've learned and what works. And it works every single time because love, kindness, compassion, and playfulness and excitement are the highest frequencies. And being a magnetic being, you're going to attract and magnetize in more of that. So what would be the practice moving forward? To learn the tools that are in this book. Practice them every day. Practice. First thing is inner healing. That's the first part of the 30-day journey. If you don't do the inner healing, you can recite all the spiritual sayings and, learn how to put your legs behind your head like a pretzel and go to yoga and all this stuff. But if you don't do the inner healing, you can't fake the magnetic frequency. You can put on a mask, but it's not going to fake it because it's a law of frequency and vibration. The beautiful thing is you can heal decades and decades. I journey with people every month that come in and work with me one-on-one that may have been holding wounds for 6, 7, 8 decades. And they clear it usually in under the first week, every time. Why? Because they begin to understand what the wound was, why it was there, while a little child protected it and covered it up and didn't want them to go near it or feel it ever again because it was so painful, and how to observe it and step back and go, oh, that was part of my journey. That was part of my soul contract. This is what I agreed to so I could transmute this for myself and the collective. And when we begin to look at what happened to us as gifts, and this is key, because many people are not willing to do it. They've been holding on to the story so long about what somebody else did to them, and that's been their whole story, and that's how they've navigated through every relationship and played it safe, or put up their deflecting or defense system, or told everybody about everything that happened to them. And now the only thing that's going to free them is to delete all that. And some people's ego just doesn't want to let go of that. And so they stay trapped over and over and over. And they never, ever let go, because you can't be free. You can't begin to magnetize in love and light and higher frequencies and abundance and everything if you've got a trauma or a wound or a lack of forgiveness in here. It's not going to happen. This is great news for anybody that gets this right now. If you're wondering why maybe abundance isn't showing up in your life, then I could tell you from my experience, I was holding on to everything. And my mindset was, I need to get more before I feel safe to give it away and just let go. And so I've told this story before. I used to be a bartender in San Diego and recording guy, but before I got my recording studios really going, I was a bartender. And so I used to work with people that survived on tips because they were getting paid minimum wage. So I would get the opportunity when I would go out to eat, which was a lot, to decide what somebody's worth was when the bill came. And so, the bill comes and it's like $24 and you go, okay, what's 15% of 24? Blah, 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 blah. And the mind's trying to calculate all this. And was the person good? Was the food blah? All this shit. It's a distraction, because the real root thing for me anyway, and I see this in a lot of people, was how much can I give away and be fair, but I don't want to give away too much because I've only got so much money. This was my process. To really break it down. And so I began to notice that. I began to notice that I became contracted when it was time to decide, how much should I give? How much should I give? And then I finally figured it out. Fuck. If I'm holding back when I need to decide how much to give, that's going against the whole unlimited abundance of this whole dream and reality. There's no lack anywhere. The people in control have set up some lack, but the key is, and the key was for me, if I got a check for dinner or drinks or whatever, it didn't matter whether the service was great or whether it sucked. I would double whatever number I came up with. And what that did for me was that proved to me that I can give away more and it's okay, and more will still come. And that was the shift for me. And the reason I'm sharing this is because I remember what it was, and it took me so long. I went to almost every 3-day weekend seminar. I bought every spiritual book, Think and Grow Rich, every top one. You know, I was an apprentice with Don Miguel Ruiz for 10 years, closely. And his big thing wasn't really about abundance. His thing was about you're creating your reality, you're dreaming all the time. He didn't really tune in to teach me how to, manifest money. But for me, that shifted it all. So really, really key to notice that when you get to the point where you can just freely give things away, you'll notice that not only does it make you feel incredible, it raises your vibration, but you will begin to see that more begins to effortlessly come in to your life. And you just begin to magnetize it. So, yeah. Okay, so anyway, let me see if we have any questions here. Hey, Lee, great to see you. Last time I caught you live, I disclosed my trigger and you said unhealed childhood trauma immediately was gone. Oh, God bless you. Thank you for showing up and sharing that. Now, reading this, I'm going to tell you right now, disclaimer. I didn't remove anything from Lee. I don't heal other people. What I do is I guide people safely and gently. One of my passions is through the process of doing it by being a mirror, by being a gentle, loving mirror and showing them what a wound is, why it happened, soul contract, and the key to removing it. Forgiveness, 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 and finding the gift. Always, whenever we have a trigger, a judgment, a less than thought, stop and catch it. This is priceless. They didn't teach this in school, but they will be teaching this to children very soon, because if children learn very early what an emotional trigger is and that our thoughts and our words create our reality, they're not going to have to go to school for 12 or 16 years and then give up 65 of the best years of their life so then they could become what? Retired. It's a spell word. It's another spell word. They set it up that way. Okay? So we're here at the greatest time in recorded history that I know of, and I really don't know anything. And this is the invitation. So I just wanted to come on and share that. And again, if anybody has any questions, feel free to pop it in. I'll just go back and recap really quickly. Do we have the courage to question our belief system? And do we have the courage to step out and say, I will not submit to fear-based rules and things that go against my sovereignty? And some people could say, well, you're being irresponsible in it. Do your research. It's all out there. That's all I can say. I'm not going to try and... People either see it by this point, or they don't want to see it, or they don't want to admit that, oh my God, I've been going along with it for 2 years, but even though I know it, I don't want to admit it now because then I'd have to admit that I was duped, or my neighbors are going to judge me because I'm out in my own yard in the sun, breathing in fresh air, but I've got a mask on. I mean, it's all up to you guys. This is where, it can get into the triggering part of this conversation, and that's not my intention to do that. But let's be honest. What's going on right there? Okay. I just got a question here. If the first person whom I loved, she came to tell me for breakup, what should I do? Okay, so if I'm understanding you correctly, somebody that I'm in love with came and told me that we're going to break up. What should I do? Okay, I feel sad. That's normal. Okay, so if she desires to no longer be in that relationship, then it means that it's not working for her for some reason. So what would be the gift in that to you? You could still remain friends if you're not needy and sticky and pulling on her. But if you're pulling on her and you're needy and sticky, she's going to run because she doesn't want that. She didn't sign up for that. And this goes for any relationship. And so look at the gifts. What were the gifts that you got out of the relationship? What a blessing that this person came into your relationship to mirror you. So what did you take away? Right now, you might be feeling pain. But what's the deeper gift so you don't have to relive this again with the next person that shows up in your life? Because I relived my wounds over and over and over in relationship after relationship until I went in and cleared and healed my triggers and my wounds. And if you need somebody to be in your life, that's needy and it's sticky. The invitation is to get to the point where you are completely happy by yourself, doing what you love. And yeah, we love to love. I'm a total lover. I love the divine feminine so much, but I don't need to be in a relationship because a lot of times there's sacrifices. I mean, you have to let everybody know what you're going to do and do it together and make decisions. And I mean, that's great too, because there's power in numbers if that works. But I've learned to enjoy my alone time just as much as being with somebody else. And so what is the gift? And you may be able to approach this person and say, I respect you and I only intend for you to be happy. If there's anything you'd like to share with me, I'm open to receive it. But then you have to really be open to receiving feedback from somebody else without being triggered. You have to be willing to look at your stuff. That means whatever she didn't like, and whatever she didn't like might be her own trigger. You don't know. But the key is, what did this teach me? What did this teach me? So, good question. Yeah. So, hey, Cheryl, great to see you. Yeah, so I think that's it. Do we have the courage to question our belief system? And do we have the courage to stand up in society and say, I will not submit to what I know is wrong? That's it, you know? And there's a way to do it without fighting. You don't need to fight. You unplug. I boycott any place that says you have to wear a face diaper because they're pushing the fear agenda. There's plenty of places to go. I don't need to go there. And I don't need to hold any judgment or resentment towards them. I just go, boycott, bless you. Thanks for playing your role in waking people up. Next. I go to the market and I buy my organic stuff and I make my stuff at home or whatever. We just begin to only give our energy focus to that which we desire to see more of. And if we see something that we don't like, we ask ourselves, or we just observe, what is this trying to teach me? Or what is this trying to show the planet? You know? But the bottom line is, where am I holding my frequency right now? Are you fueled by love? Everything's backwards in here. It's a reversed hologram. You know? Are you running with the frequency of kindness, playfulness, excitement, compassion, amidst all the craziness? You can sit right in it and observe and go, my heart goes out to these people, but I'm not going to play that game. I'm not going to be poisoned. I have a perfectly good immune system. And I've looked at the facts, and the facts don't lie. And it's just common sense. So Are you giving in to shame? Are you giving in to societal pressure of shame and guilt? Well, do you want to come back and have to do it again? I don't know. I don't even know if that's true. But I know how it feels if I'm living a lie and I won't do it. I won't do it. Yes, I've gone into a store once a month. I put my mask on to right here. I won't block my nose. There's no way. And I go in, I know exactly what I'm going to get, and I'm in and out in 3 to 4 minutes. I smile at everybody the best you can with a frickin' mask on, which is why it's covered up. Human connection. It's a psyop. That's all it is. So anyway, not to really want to end on that, but let me see what Cheryl says here. It is hard to know, but we then live in truth. Truth is valuable. Yeah, and our truth may not be somebody else's truth, but I can tell you that frequency doesn't lie. Frequency meaning, are we operating in love? Are we operating in kindness? Are we operating in compassion? Are we observing or are we reacting? You can always tell, because if you're judging, you're reacting. You're triggered. It's your shit. And thank the person that you just judged, because they just showed you clearly where you're still holding a low frequency. It's one thing to observe something that's going wrong out there and to maybe sign a petition or show up in a freedom march or something like that, with love in your heart. But anytime we're judging, we're going to have to relive that over and over and over, because we're just attracting more of it. I was an expert at judging. I really was. So, yeah, here's a good comment from Lee. The worst thing, and I love how she puts that in quotations, worst, because worst is just an agreement of the mind that it was really bad, when in fact it was a gift. Every single thing is a gift. Every single thing is a gift. Yeah. Yep. God bless you, Lee. I journey with a lot of people that have been through sexual trauma and rape and stuff. And, I don't go in and tell them it was a gift, but we go in and we dismantle it. And those people go on to help other people in the deepest ways, because they've been able to forgive on a level themselves and others. Because, yeah, that's an intense one to take on. So thank you for that. Yeah. Thank you for that. Yeah. Amazing people out there. I'm so grateful to be connected through this incredible technology. Thank you, Facebook. Thank you, Zuck. Thank you, George Soros, for creating this and having it completely backfire on you and unite the world. How wonderful. How great is that? Because everything that's inverted is backfiring now, because it can no longer survive in the newer frequencies. And we came here for this. How wonderful. Oh, my shirt isn't reversed. No, it's not reversed in my camera, but when I look at myself, like this is my right hand and it's on the left, I'm reversed. But yeah, you can still see it. So it's good. That's one of my waking up in the dream shirts. I got a guy here in Thailand that'll make an incredible shirt like this for $4.50. Love these people here. So amazing. Okay, great. Hey, thanks, Paul. I appreciate that. Yeah. Yeah, this stuff changed my life, which is why I'm really, really passionate about it. And I just love sharing it because it works. And, I have to remind myself every day too, I still get triggered. I don't get triggered at other people. I get triggered at like my computer, or yesterday there was a fly that was just wouldn't leave me alone. And just silly little things. And that's when I know that it's time to take a break or get out in nature or play some guitar or do something, So whenever I get triggered, I go, oh, okay, somebody needs a break. Been on the computer for 6 hours with 50 tabs open in Chrome and Firefox, and, I do it too. But for the majority, I wake up every single morning. I never skip this step. And everybody that goes through my course is invited to do this. And it's life-changing. and I'll share this process with you. I do on most calls. This is the life changer right here. When we awaken out of what we call the sleeping dream at night, what usually happens for the majority of people is they wake up, or they have an alarm that wakes them up, and immediately the mind kicks in. And what does it do? Well, in most cases, it just starts running whatever beliefs or whatever it is. I got to get up. I got to put on a pot of coffee. I got to get the kids ready for school. I've only got a half hour. I got to jump in the shower. I got to stop and get gas before I go into work. I got to check my email. And there's nothing wrong with that. However, when you teach yourself and commit to waking up every single morning, and while your head's still on the pillow, first thing I do is give love to every single one of my trillions of cells. And why do I do that? Number one, they've been unconditionally loving me since I was in the womb. And I haven't even had to think about it. And I put my body through some shit, okay? I used to party hard. I was a motorcycle rider. I've been in more accidents. And, any scar I have on my body came from being stupid for the most part. And so every single morning I give love on my body. And by the way, if you're not aware of this, this is really, really key. I just lost my train of thought from this question that popped in. Every single one of these trillions of cells is consciously aware. It's like its own little human being that's part of your collective. It's like we are part of the collective universe. And everything that we think or feel is affecting the collective, right? So every one of these trillions of cells is listening to every single thought, every single word, and every single emotion that we put behind that, just like I spoke about at the beginning of this transmission. And so I was never taught, and most men aren't taught, and women, to truly, truly love on your body. And that loving on yourself is the most important thing you will ever do. What are we taught in society? We're taught that if you love yourself, that's ego. And it is ego if you're in your ego. I'm talking about waking up in the morning, rubbing on your body and going, oh my God, my trillions of cells have been loving on me unconditionally since I've been in the womb. And every night while I'm asleep and every day, they're beating my heart, purifying my blood, processing food, building new cells. There's more functions going on in your brain right now than you could ever possibly count. Well, maybe not ever, but that we're not truly, there's trillions of functions happening right now. So we wake up in the morning, super key, and we love on our body and we smile. Now that automatically raises your frequency. Then the second step is to this life-changing morning routine is to consciously and intentionally create your reality. And you must do this before you step 1 foot out of bed. Because as soon as you get up or step out of bed, those 50 to 80,000 thoughts that run every day are just going to run. And you don't have to worry because they're going to come back. They're there. Now, the way to interrupt that and step out of 3D and move into 5D, Elizabeth just asked me this question, so I'm glad you showed up. I did get your private message this morning, and I factored that into my talk. So, okay. So this word ascension can be tricky to people because in the religious aspects of it, let me go back to creating your reality, and I'll come right back to this and I'll tie it in. Okay, so you're lying in bed, okay? You're loving on your body. You're smiling. You can feel your frequency go up. Can you feel your frequency go up if you close your eyes and smile? I mean, to me, I know this works every single day, and it completely changed my life and everything that I've manifested into it. And synchronicities happen every day. Magic and miracles, but they're not really magic and miracles. They're the law of what I am intending with my frequency. I'm a magnet. I'm a magnet. So if I don't set it consciously, then I'm going to be running all the old programs that I was running that I've learned since I was a child. And those weren't very good programs. So I went in through the process of going through this simple step-by-step process, and I dismantled that stuff. And if something still pops up, I can feel the frequency and I stop and I go, okay, there's a little trigger or a reaction. What is this trying to teach me? It's always about me. This is where we move beyond 3D and into higher dimensions by being consciously aware of every single thought, word, and the emotional frequency or vibration that we put behind it. So if we talk about all this talk about, moving from 3D to 5D, it's all happening at the same time, 3D, 5D, and we could be going in and out like you're in your heart right now. Okay, you're ascending. Anytime that you're in your heart, you're in joy, you're in love, you're in kindness, you're in compassion, you're in gratitude, or you're in excitement, you're ascending. You can feel it. Your body's lighter. This is what it's talking about. Our bodies are shifting. More light is coming in. They're changing to crystalline. This is wonderful. We're getting all this love from the planet and beyond. Plus the collective is waking up. The new kids coming into the planet are switched on. It's happening. So we don't have to really get caught up. I used a lot of topics about moving beyond the 3D matrix because I think it gets people's attention. And because the movie was so well done that it's a good topic. And I come back to it a lot because to me, conscious awareness is the only game in town. It's the only game. You can have your beliefs. You can do whatever you want. You can be wealthy, have a lot of money in the bank. Who cares? Unless you're doing something good with it. Unless you're really being love in every moment as much as possible. So ascending or moving beyond 3D to 5D or 12D or 1 million D. I don't even know how many Ds there are. We're just playing with these numbers and stuff so we can kind of get an idea of what we're doing here in the game. And the game is frequency and vibration. So anytime we have a judgment or a less than thought, we can feel it. That's 3D. And here's the easy way to know. Because judgment, fear, doubt, shame, guilt, lack, those can't exist in 5D. There's nothing but abundance and love and already healed and kindness and unity. There's no separation. That's 5D and beyond. So if you're seeing judgment, if you're seeing that you're above somebody else and you're not seeing, here's one of the other keys my teacher Miguel told me. And this one really spun my mind when he told me. And he said, Jeff, everyone is you. I was like, what? He's like, everyone is you. There are no others. And I was like, of course that spun me. Because I'm looking out there and I'm seeing people do terrible things. When I was in the first grade or second grade, my screen just went off. Let's see if it'll come back. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so when he told me that everyone is you, I had to really process that. And now it's been 20 years since I was studying with him. There's a link for the book. It came up delayed. My screen went off for a second, my connection. So, it's doing weird stuff. Okay, so when he told me that everyone is you, that was a massive key. If you can get a piece of this, and I'm not saying that nobody out there doesn't already know this and I'm the only one. I'm just planting seeds and I'm reminding Jeff, everybody's me. Hey, Jeff, you're the only one here. You're the only one in the universe. You're having fun playing on Facebook. This is cool technology. You get to play with this. It's great. It appears that other people are sending comments in. How wonderful. What a cool dream. Remember, everyone that you see out there in this illusionary dream is you. So why would you want to do anything other than love them and bless them? And even if they're doing something that you don't like or that you think is wrong, then bless them, forgive them. It doesn't mean don't stop them. If I ever saw anybody harming a child or doing, I'll stop them if that shows up in my field. But this is all about learning about frequency and where is your frequency right now. I think that simplifies it, I guess, right? Okay. So let me go back to the comments here. What? Okay, I don't know what that means. Okay, yeah. So that's it. So if anybody is interested in going deeper into this, and this really resonates, I journey with 4 people every month, and only 4, because when anybody puts their trust in me, we go back and forth almost every day. Yeah, we have a weekly call like most mentors do, but to me, this is like the most life-changing, accelerated, fast, and fun thing. Whatever you do, if you can make it playful, even if it sucks, like, oh, this sucks. First thing in your mind when you see something that sucks, go, what is the gift here? What is the gift here? Super key. Because if you don't find the gift, then you have to relive it again and again and again until you find the gift and you clear it. It's built into the system. It's really quite magical when we begin to figure it out. And I'm really thankful for all my teachers, and I'm thankful that every single person is my teacher. Every single one. I'm not above anybody. I have some information I've learned, from some wonderful teachers, but I don't ever put myself above anybody because I can feel that. It feels sticky. It feels like the ego wanting to be superior. And I'm like, nope, back into your heart. And I thank every single person, every single one. It's life-changing. So anyway, if there aren't any further questions, there's a link at the bottom there for anybody that's interested in doing the 30-day journey. The book's half price. You can go to the website. It's all at portaltoawakening.com. There's also a really wonderful digital online course you can do at your own pace. It's got 4 PowerPoint trainings that will get you to see the program, and you will see it. And the key thing about dismantling a program is you can't dismantle it unless you can see it, because you won't catch it and dismantle it time after time. The ego will justify it. It's tricky, but it's great. So, yeah. So, thank you, Cheryl. I appreciate you. That makes it all worthwhile for me because I'm just super passionate. And again, I'm just talking to myself. I wake up, I lie in bed and I go, okay, it's time to do a live. What are you going to say that's going to be of value to people? And I'm just like, I don't know. So then I just breathe. I just start breathing into my heart like I do on my body every day. And I even own my body. I go, I love you, every cell. And when you do that, you can just feel your whole body's vibrating. I love you, life. Thank you, Mother Nature. Thank you. And and I do that for like 10 or 15 minutes every single morning. My frequency goes up. But what's even greater about it is my mind gets super clear and it puts me in like this 0 point state. And then I just start to get the idea for the topic or the sharing or whatever it is. And so I'm really grateful for everybody that shows up, for everybody that shares this stuff. If you have any questions about the 30-day journey or anything, send me a private message or go to the website. And just grateful to be able to share this time. What I'm going to leave you with at 10:10 a.m. in Thailand here is, this is absolutely the most exciting and greatest time in recorded history that I know of. And I know nothing but excitement and gratitude when you carry that through your day and just keep tracking. Where's my frequency? Where's my frequency? What am I magnetizing more of? What am I magnetizing onto the field and contributing? Am I in my heart? I promise you, even if you're living somewhere, I get messages from people sometimes and they go, Jeff, I don't have any friends that are awake. My whole family's asleep. They all got the jibby jab. Everybody thinks I'm crazy. I just trust and know that you're there for a reason and that you're holding a frequency. And by just holding a frequency of non-judgment and compassion, you're doing it. And you are connected to everybody around the world. Look at us. We're connected right now. I'm in frickin' Thailand. I don't even know how I got here, and I don't even know where it is on the map hardly. But it's magical here. And I followed my heart, and this is what happened. So, you're never alone. You've got the ability to reach out to people at all times, and just know that, and know that you're being guided and you're being loved. And the number one thing is to just find things to be grateful for. Unplug from anything that lowers your frequency. You don't need to know what's going on in the television. They're lying. You could just go out and sit in nature, take your shoes off, connect, and give love to the flowers and the butterflies and the water and the clouds and the animals, and just go, I'm in love, or be listening to music. You're automatically raising the frequency. You don't have to do anything more than that. You don't have to try to be good enough. You don't have to try to be magical. You already are. Allow that. Allow yourself to be that amazing. And know that you are unlimited. Do you wake up every morning and create your reality from an unlimited state of being? Most people I know don't. I invite you to challenge that. How big can you think? And then see it as already here. Don't go, I wish, I hope, someday, I want, I need, I'm trying. Those are all weak ass spell words. And the reason they're spell words is because they're in spelling. We've been taught to use them over and over and over, and they do one thing, and they only do one thing. They tell the subconscious that it's not here yet. And if you keep telling your subconscious, I want, I'm going to, I'm try, I wish, I hope, then the subconscious goes, it's not here yet. Yeah, I am, and it is. It is here now. And I was telling one of my wonderful clients on a call yesterday, sometimes we must see it. We must see it as already here. We have to trick the ego. The people that say, I'll believe it when I see it, they're never going to see it. Because that statement comes from frustration, it comes from lack, and it comes from not understanding that every single thought, word, and the emotion that we put behind it is either magnetizing more of what we desire, or it's magnetizing more of what we don't desire, but we're focusing on it by telling our story that way. So become very aware. Priceless. Conscious. Yeah. Yep. I don't use the word WORK. I use play with the people that know me. And for people that don't know me, I would use the word whatever it is that you're doing to manifest your reality. So that includes money and everything else. So yeah, but spell words, yeah, watch out for them. And I have videos on my YouTube channel, Portal to Awakening. They're all free. Everything that I paid over $100,000 for is on my YouTube channel. Yes, I sell my book. Somebody got triggered the other day because I offer mentorships and I sell my book and my course. Yeah, you know why? Because we're still in a 3D thing where and this person's paying her rent. She's paying for everything, but she got triggered because I'm selling my product. Yeah, but look how much I give away. I'm giving away every single tool right here for free. Okay? You can do both. You don't need to live in fear. You just navigate through the game. But the more you give, the more you get. And I intend that people have found this valuable. So big love from me to you in Thailand. And yeah, I love this. I don't work. I make money having fun and doing what I love by sharing my passion and my gifts. That's a good thing to end on. Love you, Cheryl. Love you, everybody. Thank you so much. And Have an incredible day or evening wherever you're at. Stay excited. This is the greatest time in recorded history, and it's so much is going to be revealed at a very accelerated pace very soon. It already is. It's just a matter of whether people want to pay attention or not. So yeah, love you too. Have a great day or evening, and we'll catch up soon. Big love.